guys let me lead. Like, just let me lead the way because my trait is lost.
Oh, can I also ask, did one of you take Pathfinder as a skill?
Yes.
Okay, good, because you're going to need that.
Oh god. I also took like 9 smoking herbs.
I took those too.
Priorities.
Oh, I'm a healer. I need those.
I'm just a humble fisherman.
Yeah, so do you want to go to Rainbow or Peril?
I think we need to go to Peril. We have
Yeah.
to.
The name sounds very promising.
We have to help those awful people.
This is probably going to break things computer, but there is a little icon down here. I'm going to attempt to use a map this time. Probably want to zoom right in as well.
Yeah, 190%. No big deal.
So you're going to be Peril to the east here. So Peril, when you're approaching it, is a very small village. It's not more than a dozen houses. You can see the smoke coming from the top of them. The snow is thick. It's still snowing just now, kind of lightly. But the sun is out. It's very reflective and shining as you approach the village.
I'm still not finished character card, sorry.
That's fine. So Alex, what's your character called?
He's Joel Coldfur. He's a large, broad man with white hair.
Drac, what's your guy called?
Logan Hawthorne.
Is he also a broad man with white hair?
No, he is not a broad man right here. He's just like an average height with brown long hair and a beard.
Tarlock, what's your guy called?
Eric, a young warrior with just a crow beard and is excited to go into the north and have adventures.
The noob. What's your guy called, Tink?
Grunt. He's small and strong and sort of very built with a big beard.
Totally not a
Is he
dwarf. Yeah.
dwarf? Yeah.
Basically. Although he's not a dwarf.
Yes, so you arrive in Peril. Small, smoke coming out. There's obviously an inn that you're able to make your way to. You've been out in the cold for the better part of a day coming up from the south, and it's nice to just get somewhere that's like warm. You can heat your feet up, get a hearty meal in. I mean, it's up to you if you want to stay the night or if you want to venture on, but there's people around here and you just don't know the area. You don't even know where you're going apart from the fact you're just heading north somewhere. So what would you like to do?
Could we ask around about the civilization in the north that we're headed towards?
I think we should perform a ritual to thank the bear god for our safe journey.
The bear guard. I don't
Yes.
believe in the bear guard, but you're free to do whatever kind of journey, whatever kind of ritual you want.
If the ritual helps us.
Alright, I'm just gonna start smoking some herbs.
Is there like a stream nearby or a river or lake?
Is that your ritual? You just smoke herbs?
Oh, gotta get prepared for it. Takes a little
okay.
while.
Oh, okay.
So the village is kind of quite near the frozen shoreline. There will be river or a very small river or a very large stream running by it that leads to the coast. But of course, it's frozen over just now.
Time for ice fishing then. What do I need to roll to get to the water?
You can get to the water easily enough. You'll have the tools you need to cut a hole in the ice and set up a fishing spot. So we can just get you to a roll and see how many supplies you're going to fish out.
Yes.
Okay, so what's your fisher skill at?
1.
So you have 1 dice, you get an extra for being fresh. You have a dice for your skill. What's your trait?
Adventurous.
Okay, so probably not applicable.
No.
So you have 3 dice. Do you want to push yourself and get an extra one?
Nah, it's just fishing.
Alright, okay, so 1 success. So you'll fish out 1 supply over the course of
Nice.
staying here. So Eric goes off to fish for a few hours. What about the rest of you?
I want to ask around about this civilization that we are looking for.
Sure. So in the inn, there's a handful of characters. A lot of them are very sun-worn looking people with a lot of furs. There's a lot of facial hair. There's a lot of smoking and drinking going on. But it's quite subdued. They're not rambunctious. They don't seem to be celebrating. They're just like quietly grumbling away as they over a pint of ale.
I just want to find a table with a couple of them and then like just ask about like any kind of legends or anything they might have about ancient civilizations or any rumors of stuff nearby.
So a man who identifies himself as Horfar. He
Oh, that
picks up.
sounds promising.
He picks up this. Aye, there's plenty of tales out to the north, son. But nobody's ever came back from seeking it over the mountains.
Well, just add me to the list then, because I'm headed that direction.
But there is a path that will take you over the mountains, if that's where you're headed.
That is indeed where I'm headed. Can you point this path out to me?
I could maybe, I could maybe take you there even, if you have the coin.
Let's see. I'll slide him a couple of coins. 3. Let's give him 3 coins.
His eyes light up and he like slides them off the table. He looks outside and it's kind of midday at this point. The sun's still up shining. Oh, well, we may maybe best be doing it tomorrow. It's a bit of a walk. I don't want to be caught out there in the dark.
That's fine. One of my companions apparently left to go do something, so tomorrow morning sounds good for us. And I'm gonna show him a couple more coins, just in case he thinks like not showing up. Like if he does show up, he can earn a few more.
I promised him a couple more coins, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see from the pile of furs and pelts that he has beside him that he's obviously some kind of trapper.
Right.
And once you've kind of talked to him, made your introduction, if the others are there, you know, they'll invite you to sit at the table and talk with him for the evening.
Well,
Yeah, I'll talk to him. Yeah, I'm a survivalist, so learning about the surrounding area would be cool. But anyways, that's just like background noise. Go ahead, blue guy.
while he's doing that, I'm gonna look around for if the village has like a shaman or something. Or does this seem like the kind of village that would?
Also, rundown village, it's gotta have like some backwoods witch somewhere around here.
Yeah, so not in the village itself, but if you venture out a little bit, you can see like smoke coming from in amongst the trees. Do you want to, which would signal there's some sort of abode there. Do you want to walk over there alone?
Of course.
So you step out from the village, you very quickly enter the sort of thinned out woods, spruce and pine. You can hear wolves howling, deep into the forest. And you come across a shack sat on its own. You can see the light from the fire through the gap between the skins that are covering what is the window. And there's typical kind of shamanic things, skulls and bones and such, like hanging like wind chimes around the entrance.
So before approaching the house or anything, I'm gonna take my weapons off and set them on the ground, just so they don't think I'm here to attack them or something. I'm just gonna bring some smoking herbs to the door.
It's a kind of ramshackle wooden door. You could probably kick off the hinges if you just kicked it hard enough.
I'll just hunch down and gently open the door and try to look inside, make sure they're not doing anything.
The door kind of creaks open, and you can see there's a person inside, wrapped in furs, big thick shoes, their feet up on a little stool, and they're sat in front of the fireplace smoking a long pipe.
I'll bring out some of my smoking herbs, and is there a stool or something I can sit down by the fireplace near them?
Yeah, they'll have other stools and tables and such in there. It's a very
Alright,
small sort of one-room cabin. There's a stove on one side, the fireplace, and a bed in the far wall.
Alright, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm just gonna go in and sit down on the stool next to the fireplace and start smoking.
There's a quick movement of hand and head by the figure as they notice you in the corner of their eye, but when they spy your pipes and your attire, they kind of relax and just give you a nod and then go back to smoking. The smoke from his pipe has a kind of slight bluish tinge to it, and it takes strange shapes as it emits from the end of the ash.
What do the shapes look like?
Kind of wispy animals, and then they just quickly disappear and fade into nothing.
Alright, I guess after a while we're just sitting there and smoking together. I'll finally ask him I'll tell him we're on a journey to the north, and if there's anything I need to know about the way.
He nods his head slowly as you're talking. Heading north for the treasure of the city, yeah?
Aye.
They say it sits on the top of the world. That's a long ways from here.
Apparently it's a long way from everywhere.
He nods his head slowly again, takes a deep breath and blows it out. Yep, a lot of walking. A lot of long cold nights. You prepared for such a trip?
That's part of the reason I came here. Do you have any advice or anything? Any spare supplies you could give for the journey?
Turns his head to you, puts out this big cheesy smile, and you can see all these like wide broken teeth. It's like, yeah, don't go. But if you have to go, there's another village along the shore. A couple of days walk at most. You might be better off setting off from there, rather than tackling the mountains.
I'll let the others know. I'll set one of my extra things with smoking herbs on the chair and then walk out to leave.
Just hear him coughing slightly as you leave the building.
Alright, I guess I'll just pick up my weapons and stuff on the way back and return to the village.
Again, as you pick up your weapons, you hear a wolf howling. Sounds a little closer this time in the woods. But looking around, you don't see one in sight.
Alright, I'll have one of my axes at the ready and just make my way back to the village.
When you come back to the inn, you can see Logan is sat with a crowd of old timers, and they're sitting exchanging stories about hunting in the woods and giant beasts that attacked them, how they barely survived, and how they all had a best friend who lost an eye or a leg.
I guess I'll head towards him and just kind of nudge someone else away from the table to sit down.
You back tank? Are you struggling, but
Well, he caught enough fish to, like, feed himself and the adults for a bit. Yeah. Which reminds me, I don't have money.
when you're in a settlement, or when you're going to leave the settlement, you have a bill to pay, which is paying for the services you've accrued while you were there. It's a flat rate of 10 coins per character, per night. It gets cheaper if you stay for longer periods. That lets you use blacksmiths or any kind of services in the town. You get your meals, you stay warm, you don't have to make any rolls or mark any fatigue or anything like that. But if you leave town without paying, there's going to be trouble. Someone's going to come after you because of the money you owe them.
Well, how good we are going to the north then, when nobody will follow us, right?
Horfar mentions, however, that there has been a problem with wolves lately on the mountain roads. So perhaps if you would be kind enough to help slay them, he would pay to cover your costs here in the village tonight.
That would be lovely.
I look at my pouch full of coins. Alright, I guess. Since some people can't pay the ways.
I still have a good bit of money, but I think it'd probably be easier just to kill the wolves.
Yeah, wolves never hurt anyone.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, so you settle down for the night. The rooms are small and cramped, but they're functional and they're warm, more importantly than anything else. The meals given to you are little more than a stew, but it's enough to keep you going.
Plus the fish, we get to add fish to it.
If you wanted to burn up those supplies, you could, yeah.
Well, that's what he spent the day fishing for, wasn't it?
Well, you get fed for staying here anyway, so you might as well keep them as extra supplies for travelling.
Yeah.
Actually, we could probably, What skill would I need for skinning something? Because I guess a wolf pelt could be worth something.
Hunter,
Hunter.
probably.
No. Okay.
Well, you get the impression Horford wants the pelts, and that's what you're getting paid for.
Oh.
So he will meet you guys just after dawn, outside the inn. He'll be there, despite how late he was up and how much he was drinking. He's there bright and early with a smile on his face. He looks quite energised and cheerful, and he's very boisterous and jokey. But he is, of course, wrapped up thick in furs, and you are not. And he does give you a look when you step out in the cold morning light, as if to say, is this really how you're travelling?
Well, we got what we got.
He slaps you in the back and laughs loudly as he does. I'm sure you'll be fine. Onwards then, to the mountain.
Aye, onwards.
So he is a guide. So less than a day's trip. They even went roll for this.
All right, I would have told them about what the shaman told me about the other village up the coast last night.
While we travel with Orphax, since he knows the area and I do not, I will consult him about this village up the coast and what he knows about it.
Aye, but you don't want to go there, lad. They're all inbred.
Oh, inbred. What does that mean?
It's very remote, and they don't do much trade in the ways of coming south here.
Any particular reason it would be better to just set off from there than go through the mountains?
Well, you wouldn't have to go over the mountains, I suppose, but what's the fun in that?
That's what I'm talking about.
So you have a supply, so you're prepared. Okay, so Pathfinder. Do you want to roll 1 dice, +1, plus your Pathfinder skill, +1 for everybody being fresh. So you've got 4 dice to roll.
Okay, the macro.
Okay, so that is an XP. Yes, you just trudge on along following Horfar. You are not so far out of town. You can see the beginning of the mountain trail that's beginning to ascend. It's flanked by these large, tall, thick forests of pine. The shadows cast from the trees make it seem like it's almost nighttime as you're trudging along through the snow. You can see footprints where trappers have been the day before, although most of their footprints kind of been filled in by snow from last night. I also have to see, so everyone gets fatigue from that roll. And you don't have a heat source, so you all also get cold from that roll.
Would smoking herbs give us a heat source?
I'm gonna say no.
You're gonna say no? Okay.
Maybe if you're like tucked in a cozy little cave or something. But
What if we had a lantern?
A lantern? A lantern? Yeah, if you had your lantern lit, you could.
Yeah, I had to use supplies to light it, wouldn't I?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a cold.
I don't know if he's gonna come back. Is that you there, Tink? Or shows he's in Discord, that's weird.
And she just disconnected.
What was that as you got there too? Yeah, so I mean you're about halfway to the mountain path. You can see it in front of you. You're flanked in the darkness, and the howls have been getting louder for the last half hour. Horfar stops in the middle of the path and motions for you all to halt behind him, and he listens carefully. Shit. Well, I hope yous are ready. They're here now. And you can just see the pinpricks of light from the wolf's eyes and the darkness of the trees reflecting.
I'm sort of back. I've been listening what's happening because I managed to listen in through my phone, so
Okay.
I know you sort of what's going on.
Okay. As you kind of...
Yep.
Yep, Horfar pulls out a torch and begins with his tinderbox trying to light it, and as he does so, one of the wolves growls and snarls and creeps over towards him. He casts aside the torch and goes to pull out his dagger, and as he's reaching for it, the wolf jumps on him and pins him on the ground and starts to bite into his arm.
So if I was gonna use magic, how would I roll that?
You just roll for it like you would roll a normal skill.
Right. So my skill's 3, so I roll 3 dice, right?
Yes, and you get 1 dice by default, always.
That's 4 dice.
Do you have a trait that is applicable?
My trait is lost.
Okay, so not really.
No.
You're no longer fresh, so you don't get a bonus from that. You can take another fatigue to get an extra dice if you want.
Right. Well, I get 4 already. I think I'm gonna settle with 4.
So I'm also going to say, I didn't mention this before, anytime you want to voluntarily take 1 less dice, you can put a mark in burst, and that means you can add that dice to a different roll later.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna do that this time, so I'm gonna roll all 4 that I have available.
Okay. Full success, yes. So what does your spell look like? What happens?
It is a blast spell.
So it's
And
an area spell.
Yes, and I wanted to try to catch the wolf as he was jumping towards Horfax.
Okay, well, full success, so that's perfectly fine. Is it a fireball or is it lightning? What's it look like?
No, it's just gonna be like all my stuff's kind of based off of ice, so it's gonna be like a blast of cold air, like intense cold air.
Okay, so like a concussive blast
Yeah.
of cold air. Yes,
Right.
the wolf tumbles backwards and smacks into a tree. You can hear it crack and whine. Looking around the rest, you see you're surrounded by wolves. There's 4 on either side of the road, so on either side of your party. What would the rest of you like to do? Oh, as well, sorry. You all take a cold.
I think we rolled the dice.
Yes, they all mark a cold, and you mark a fatigue.
And I will tell Horfax to get his torch lit.
Alright, I'm gonna set my axe on the ground for a second and start shapeshifting.
Okay, so what are you aiming to shapeshift into?
Polar bear.
Okay, so what's your skill rating for that skill?
3.
So 3, 4.
My trait is tall. Would that help at all?
I don't think so. But 4 dice is respectable anyway. Oh, crits, yeah.
So do I just become a tall polar bear?
Yeah, you quickly change into a very tall, powerful, mean-looking polar bear. You do it completely successfully, and you do it quickly. So you can then do something else before the wolves are on you.
I'm gonna jump towards some of the wolves.
This is where I'm thinking this might be too harsh, but you should all mark cold again.
Would I mark cold since I'm a polar bear now?
You mark fatigue.
Alright.
So we mark cold anytime anybody makes a roll, and not just when we make.
Anytime they make a roll and you don't have a heat source.
So it's not just when we make a roll; it's when anybody makes a roll.
Yeah.
Okay, that could
What
add up
happened?
quickly.
Sorry, my thing just cut out again there. What happened there?
He turned into a polar bear.
Alright.
I might have to make these 6 segments rather than 4, but okay. Yeah, so what else do you want to do, polar bear?
I'm gonna just jump towards the nearest wolf to me and try to trap its neck around in my jaw.
Okay, do you have fighter?
Yes, I do.
So fighter plus an extra dice.
Would tall help that one?
Sure, why not? Because you're a big animal. It's going to make it easier. Okay, so you get an XP. You get 2 XP for that. One for failing, one because it was your trait. You leap towards the wolf, but it backs away and you fall short, and the other 3 wolves jump on you and start to bite into you. Mark off 1 injury.
Alright.
You also mark off a fatigue for making a roll.
And we all get another cold.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
So that's a full thing of cold for me.
Yeah, I think that might be too harsh.
Does that mean it empties out and we add 1 to health?
Yeah.
Yep.
So are we just gonna fucking freeze to death if our combat is over?
It's because no one lit the
before
torch.
you get a move.
Someone needs to light a fire, man.
Well, I told Horfax to get his torch lit in all this. Since I got the warp off of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think while that's happening, he's going to like grab the torch and like light it. So let's not mark that last cold. Let's just leave that one and see he's got the torch lit. Because that seems super harsh.
I was thinking it was like every time we make a roll, we had to add cold, but every time everybody makes a roll, then that's going to add up quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Okay. So Eric, what would you like to do?
He's gonna let out a war cry and charge in with his 2-handed axe.
Are you running against the wolves that are on the polar bear, or are you going to go to the other side with the other wolves?
Against the ones on the polar bear. You can't let my new bear friend die.
Do you have fighter as skill?
Yes.
So you're going to be 4 dice. Sorry, what level is that at?
3.
Yeah, so 4 dice. You can have an extra dice if you want to push yourself and take fatigue, which is probably not a good idea right now.
Yeah, so I'm only 4 dice. 3 sucks.
Oh, that's a crit. Excellent. So you go in, is it a big 2-handed axe that you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
can go
think
in.
a double-plated one.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go in there, swinging it left and right and hacking those things to pieces. Those 3 wolves are like reduced to just limbs and blood. They scour away whimpering. The other ones on the other side of the road just like howl in anguish and stress. At which point, Grunt, do you want to do something?
I'll run over it, and is there any left? Any wolves left? Or they all run off?
There's 4 on the other side of the road, but they are distressed and about to break.
I'll probably run and chase after them. 'Cause my trait's bold, so I'll just go and kill them anyway with my big sword, my one-handed sword.
Okay, so what do you have for a fighter?
I've got level 3 fighter.
So you're going to be 4 dice, 5 dice for your trait. Oh, another crit. Cool. Yes, you run into them and they howl and whine, tails between their legs, and scarper and run off into the woods as you run after them. You manage to like cut. You'll probably cut them all down eventually, actually, because you got a crit. So imagine you run and spear one of them with your sword, swipe another one, wounding it. The other 2, you hack it as they run away, and you're able to track them down by their blood trails and find them dead in the snow a few feet away.
I've got a skill as labourer, so I'll be able to carry all 3. Would I be able to?
I don't think you need a skill for carrying them. Horfar's going to skin them for pelts anyway.
I'll drag them over and say, "Success! Death to the wolves!"
You will mark a fatigue for making the roll.
Okay.
I imagine at this point you're all kind of huffing and wheezing, shivering. Crowded around Horfar's measly little torch.
So, Dark, I had an idea for what if shapeshift lasted until you successfully shapeshifted back?
It's up to you if you want to make it that difficult, but that's going to be like other rolls and more fatigue and such.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like the idea of it, but it's up to you.
You may get hunted when you go back to the village, or they might just see you at least be nice and warm though by the time you walk back.
I mean, because marking fatigue is bad, but we also, if he's going to be skinning these, he's going to skin them here, or he's going to skin them back and down.
Probably here. I don't think he's gonna track the corpses back the entire way.
Exactly. So if he skins them here, then he could take a short rest to try to get rid of some of that fatigue. So
All right.
that's-
Yeah, I guess.
that's not always applicable to every situation, but to this particular situation.
Yeah, I mean, because you're fairly far out at this point, you'll tie up the bodies, drag them together, set up a little campfire, and probably make camp here before he goes back with them all.
Hmm.
All right. So since we have a campfire, I'll try to shapeshift back.
I mean, I'm fine with you not making a roll and just coming out for him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just transform back then and
'Cause that
sit next to the
seems- that seems-
campfire.
Yeah, because that seems unnecessarily taxing making you roll either way.
I'll just turn back and then leech down and pick up my axe off the ground and sit by the fire.
So Horfar's got the supplies for the meal because you're going to eat the wolf meat. And he's going to light the fire, so he doesn't need to spend any supplies for making camp. You do have a scout in the party?
We have a what?
A scout?
No.
I took Dungeoneer and Cook.
Good,
Yeah.
good if you're in a dungeon, but you're not in a dungeon.
I have
I,
survivalist, and that I don't know if that helped or not.
Yeah, I have survivalist as well.
I have
Good.
peasant.
Survival will work as well, yeah. So you probably want the person with the best survival roll.
Could I offer him help though, so he gets an extra roll?
You can, but you take fatigue to do so.
Well, what's your survivalist? I'm only at 1,
Mine's 2.
so I guess I'll be helping you then.
Alright, if you want to. So that's 2. Then we get the extra 1 for 3.
And you'll get 1 because it's a sheltered camp, because you're going to be up against the trees and stuff.
So 4.
Mm-hmm.
5, right? Because he's helping me.
Yes.
So I get the free 1, the 1 for shelter, and the 1 for help. Okay.
Crit. Excellent. Yes, so nothing is going to interrupt you while you're resting. You can actually get a long rest, which is 2 short rests.
Oh, so I actually lose a gain of fatigue, but then I lost 2, so I get to take 1 away.
So the 2 short rests will heal 2 fatigues for all of you. It'll also heal 2 cold because you're in front of the fire. You can also spend a supplies to eat extra food, and then that will also restore fatigue. Oh, well, you don't need that because he's feeding you, so you'll get an extra fatigue for that anyway.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, you'll heal 3 fatigue. And 2 cold.
It's all brand new.
So while we're resting, I'm gonna collect some of the wolf bones and stuff that he's not using.
Yeah, idea is no need for the rest of the bodies. You could take their fangs, clip their paws, their ears, anything you think's useful.
Yeah, I'll take those, and I'll take their one of their skulls.
Could we barter with Horvax or one of the furs if we wanted to?
You could try. Do you have Haggler as a skill?
I don't, but I have coin.
You can totally just buy one of them.
Yeah. You know, get a little discount because I helped him out. You know. Nah. How much? Like, so would it actually be 100C or would it be less than that?
That's like a full set of furs made into something wearable. If you're
Right.
just getting some pelts off them, it'd be a bit more like a blanket. Which is way overpriced on the sheet you have, but I've got it much cheaper. But he could give you some
Yeah,
he could give you a couple of the pelts, and you could take them somewhere and get them stitched up and made into something. Or try and craft it yourselves.
I'll take a couple. How much do you want for
How much are you offering for them?
it? I'll offer him 5 coins.
Okay, I'll give you 1 pelt for 5 coins.
I'm okay with that offer. And for now, instead of making it into anything, I'm just gonna wrap it around my shoulders.
Yes, the blood and rotting flesh on it.
It's on the outside. Don't worry. I put the fur to my back. I left all the skin and everything on the
Yeah,
back
so
side.
everyone else gets to see the rotten flesh and the blood.
Yeah. Hey, right now I'm trying to warm up. Okay.
Since you're going to be camping out around the campfire, one of you can also tell a tale. So you choose one of their character questions that you're going to answer in the form of a story that you're going to tell everyone else about yourself.
Who wants to go first?
You don't have to, but if someone wants to, you can get a new trait.
Hmm.
Give me a wee second, sorry.
The thing is, how does one tell a story now?
Well, you just tell them a story about something that happened to you in your character's past that is directly related to the answer of the question.
Okay, I got something.
But I mean,
If no one else wants to go.
yeah, I mean, it's up to you as a party to decide who gets to do it.
I'm fine with you going first. I'm trying to think of a story.
Okay,
for
so
next.
I want to do like what do I see? What do you seek? That's the question here. So I know magic. Like I used magic during that battle. So I want to tell them a story about my mentor who trained me, taught me these spells, and I trained with him day and night for years. And then he's the one who set me on this journey. Actually, told me about the city in the first place. That's what started me looking for it, and how I came to be here. And the reason I'm going is because I want to seek knowledge and power. I want to know more magic. I want to be stronger. And he told me this is where I needed to go to do that. And he was an old man, but very powerful, and he's still alive. Actually, he didn't make the journey himself, so he wants me to make the journey for him. That's my tale. I'm just a little magic guy, little apprentice, trying to be a master.
So that's where you can shapeshift.
No, I'm not the shapeshifter. That's that guy.
Yeah, the giant guy with the white hair.
No, I'll demonstrate something. Like I can blast cold air. I can make a barrier of ice, and I can freeze a person in place.
Are you actually from a northern place then? Or is this
Yes.
just happens to be the type of magic you do?
No, I'm from a northern place, and it influenced the kind of magic I learned.
Yeah, so you can gain a trait that's kind of suitable to the story you told.
curious. Would that be a good one?
Yeah, that seems fine to me. The night passes, Horford is up skinning, drinking. He takes watch so you can all get your full rest. When you wake in the morning, Horford and the pelts are gone. There's just a bloody trail where they were being skinned. And you can see the tracks where they set off back for the village, leaving you here on this mountain trail with the forest around you. You can see the trees thinning as it goes upwards and ascends, and the path winds and becomes rocky and treacherous. You can see the wind wisping around the peaks of the mountain from here, and the clouds just blanketing the summit. And then you can hear the sound of the waves against the ice in the distance as it echoes across the frozen sheet to the east.
So what should we do? Should we head towards the mountain or head towards the coast?
Well, I guess that's a decision we'll have to make.
Head off and kill him. He stole the pelts. Get him.
The
No,
pelts were
he's not
his.
paid us yet.
There was no, the pay was what? Yeah, well, I guess we didn't. No, we stayed in the village and didn't have to pay. That's why he took the pelts.
But you paid him to lead us to the mountain trail, didn't you?
I did. I think we're on it, so he technically did his job. But now we just have to decide: do we want to take the mountain path or do we want to go to the coast? It doesn't sound like there's anything in the village. We just don't have to go over the mountains if we go that way.
If you go with the coast, I can fish.
I think
It
we're
would
going to
be-
the coast because we need something to keep us warmer. How much cold damage you taking up one instant just there alone?
Yeah,
And if none of us have got anything to keep us warm, I think that's the wisest idea is to get some sort of thing for heat or warmth.
Are there any large branches in the on the ground nearby from any of the trees?
Oh, it's a forest, yeah.
I'll pick one up and try to use the ashes from the campfire to light it.
I have a tinder box I can let you use.
All right.
Okay,
If
so
the ashes don't work.
yeah, a torch will keep two of you warm.
So I think a bunch of them have axes, so you guys can just put some branches down and carry your torches.
I have an axe, and then my tool is a hatchet.
So I guess we spend time getting that, and then we can make a trip either over the mountains or back down to the coast.
That can work, yeah.
So which is it?
So I think with the tinderbox and being able to make homemade torches, we should be okay to go through the mountains. But that's my vote.
But it would be easy to get supplies by the coast, or food by the coast.
Yes.
I think the coast would be a better option from starting off rather than trying to travel through the mountain when you've got limited supplies of what we've got. Because how much do you have for food supplies and stuff like to last?
Got 4 supplies, so 4 rations.
Well, you have 4. I've got like 3 supplies worth of food. Not sure everyone else though. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, we can head to the coast and see what's up there. It's 2 for the coast right now, anyways, and 1 for the mountain.
And so I guess we don't disagree. We'll just go to the coast then.
Yeah, it's up to you. You'd be either tie it up or pick the coast.
I say let's go. Let's go with the coast. We can get
Okay.
more food that way first.
Coast it is.
Coast it is.
I'm still gonna make torch to make it down the path. I don't want to get cold anymore.
Yeah, you could probably even like scrounge up enough just to get a torch each, so you're not going to freeze like during the day as you're walking along. Let's see. So it's a 2-day journey. Do you have 5 supplies?
Could we roll survivalist to gather supplies on the way?
After the fact, you can, yeah. But if you've got 5 supplies, then you're prepared, so it gives you an extra dice to the Pathfinder roll.
Who has the Pathfinder roll? Or do we all need to have at least 5 supplies?
Just 5 supplies between you all.
Oh, we have 7 between 2 of us, so
And I have 2 myself.
that's 9.
Okay, so you are already in the wilderness, so someone can do a survivalist to forage for supplies. And since you're going by the coast, the fisherman can also roll to fish.
It was like 2 dice. Because no longer fresh.
I will say if you both roll, you both take fatigue for the roll, and then everyone else is going to take... Oh no, you've got heat sources, so you're fine with cold.
Yeah, we learned our lesson.
Yeah.
Nah, no fish.
Oh, no fish.
Alright, so...
And then I'll help you to gather supplies, yeah.
Okay, so that's 2. We get the 3, so 4.
Oh, remember if you don't have any of your clocks filled, you get an extra dice as well.
Right, so I have 2 for the skill, so then I got the free one because none of my clocks are filled, and then he helped me for 4. And we each get a fatigue.
Yeah, so I think you have another dice to roll, Tarlock. Unless you've got one of your clocks, got something in it. Okay, so that's an extra 4 supplies you've managed to scrounge up between you. On the
And fish
path.
is always nice.
So we
yeah.
lose 1 supplies total, and I'll take that from my stock. Since I had the most.
Is everybody fresh, or does anyone have their stuff marked? We'll use a fatigue now, so...
I have 3 fatigue, because I only healed 1 from the rest since I helped him.
Okay.
And I still have 1 injury.
Well, we got 3 fatigue cured, so even if you helped me, you should have healed up 2 fatigue.
So you're prepared, but you're going to lose 1 because of this.
So our journey, how much fatigue damage we've taken?
Every time you
I'll
made
do-
a roll, you took a fatigue.
Yeah.
Except you healed it when you rested. So if you rolled just now, you would have lost fatigue. Otherwise, you should be okay.
And we still gotta roll the Pathfinder roll.
Yes, the Pathfinder needs to roll. Now, the person with Pathfinder doesn't have to roll if he feels like he's taking fatigue. Actually, so everyone's going to take fatigue for this roll anyway, because everybody's involved in the journey.
Does my loss affect his Pathfinder?
No, but if you were to make the roll,
It would
your
affect
loss
it.
would come into it, and then, yeah, it would affect it negatively. But yes, if the person with Pathfinder is making the roll, then it'll be just a regular Pathfinder skill test. So 1 dice plus Pathfinder skill.
Who has Pathfinder?
I think it was.
don't.
Yeah.
Grand Eric. Partial
I know
success.
it
Okay.
sucks, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to make the trip on time, but it was tough going. So everyone is going to mark 2 fatigue for this journey. And on the map we're going to move. And this is the village of... Where's the name? Mastonham. So as you're travelling along the coast, on one side there's great ice floats. There's lots of seals on them. You see the occasional polar bear stalking the seals. And then to your left, there's this great thick forest of spruce and pine that just seems to stretch on forever. And in the distance you can see mountain ranges and their great peaks. You can see the forest is full of reindeer and wolves and bison. Squirrels scurry through the trees. Despite the cold, there's a lot of life here still. And at the end of your 2-day journey, you're at Mastenham, which is this. It's a small village of about 8 buildings, and they're very spread out here on the coast. There's what looks to have once been a pier of some sort that extends into the ocean, but is frozen in place and blanketed in snow.
So that journey would have filled up my fatigue, so I'd mark at health.
Yes.
Okay.
So as you're approaching, you crest the snowbanks and you see this village. And from the houses, smoke comes from the chimneys. These are much more primitive looking buildings. I wouldn't say ramshackle, but they're like covered in earth, and then on top of that is the snow, so they're very well hidden, apart from the smoke from the chimneys.
Warmth and ale. Let's go find some treatment.
Yeah, I stick at that. I'm ready to rest for a day before we start looking around.
So one of the houses is this large circular building, and it looks bigger than the rest of them here. It's safe to assume it's some sort of chieftain hall or communal roundhouse. There's lots of fish. They're like hanging, drying up on racks either side of the building. And you can see there's like sleds and husky dogs tied up outside. But there's no one to greet you, there's no one walking around between the buildings.
I'll take the lead if no one else wants to.
No, fuck, I was muted. Can we pet the huskies?
Oh, you can definitely go and pet the huskies. They're excited to see you,
Yeah.
jumping around and wagging their tails.
Hey, do they eat fish? Because if they do, Eric will just give them some treats.
Yes, as you're in the middle of feeding them, a man pulls back the clothing from the entrance to the roundhouse and steps out. And he says something to you in a language you don't understand. It's quite guttural and rough.
I don't understand you. Can you please speak, I guess, trade language?
And then he like pulls the cloth up over his mouth to cover his beard. And as he does so, you speak the other tongue, yes? And he does very broken English, kind of.
Yes, I do.
Don't feed them, they will get fat.
Oh, of course not. The fat dogs are very bad at drawing sleds.
He looks around at you all, and this is a very large man. He's like 6.5 feet tall, he's very broad. His hands are just like huge.
So, the tall polar bear man's the only one who can match his height.
Yeah.
Am I taller than him, or is he taller than me?
And you're probably eye level with each other.
I just walk up and square up to him with like, I'm basically maybe the height of his, at the most to his waist, if anything.
He looks down at you and gives you a big grin, and then just like pets the top of your head and shakes your hair. And he says something to you in a language you don't understand.
Character-wise, I think I'll headbutt him in the groin.
Oh, okay. That's 1 dice plus your fighting skill.
So 4, got it.
And you'll take fatigue. Yeah, you headbutt him. But he's like wearing a codpiece or some sort of protective thing underneath the thick padded furs that he has on. And he kind of winces for a second. And then he glares down at you and like grabs you by the scruff of the neck and lifts you up off your feet. And then he says something not really angrily, but in a kind of annoyed tone.
Don't patronize me.
You say as your legs are kind of like kicking the air below you.
Being from a northern village, would I know this language or no?
Do you have Lore Master?
I do not.
You can roll 1 dice if you want.
No, I'm good.
I'm just going to stare him down and then all of a sudden start laughing at him.
He sniggers at first, and then he breaks into a great belly laugh, and he lets go of you, and he pets your head again. And he turns around and opens the door to the roundhouse, pulling back the skin that was hanging there.
Come on, lads. Find feed and drink. Let's go.
I'll head inside then.
Eric will also enter.
Inside there's a huge rip-roaring fire in the centre, the smoke going up through the chimney and roof. And there's half a dozen people in various states of undress sat around this fire, and they all stop talking and look at you all as you walk in. You can see a woman breastfeeding a young child. You can see another couple of older children sat around, and a couple of young men, one of them with his chest naked, and the other one seems to be like painting something on his back.
Thank you so. I know.
As you enter, the man that was behind you like closes the thing behind you and seems to introduce you all. And he turns to you. He says, "What are your names?"
I am Joel Coldfur.
Joel Coldfur.
Grunt.
He says grunt, and he laughs, a big belly laugh again. And then he seems to tell them a short anecdote in the language they don't understand. At that point they all laugh. What was that?
That was me trying to understand his language. I decided I wanted to try.
Okay, you don't need to fatigue because you're like in the village now.
Oh, okay.
I would
But I
think.
did not understand what he's saying.
You're like, I do not know this language.
I'm Logan Hawthorne.
He just repeats your names as you say it. As if there's some sort of translation going on, even though it's exactly the same words. One of the young men who's topless and now got some sort of tattoo thing getting painted on his back walks over to Eric. He sees your fishing gear and he points to it. You fish?
Yes, I am Eric. I occasionally enjoy fishing, yes.
I fish too.
Oh. Can you show me any good fishing spots around here? Is there even much fish around here? I haven't really caught many.
He gives you a big smile, takes you out the front and shows you the racks and racks of fish they have caught and are drying.
Well, no wonder that there's so few fish in the lake.
It's like many fish, cold nights, patience.
Of course.
He points to your little fishing rod, which is this finely crafted fishing rod of yours. You fish with pointy stick?
Yes, it's more flexible. I don't need to wait that long for prey.
He pulls out this very basic hand-carved short fishing pole that you would use for ice fishing.
A short what?
Fishing pole for ice fishing.
Oh. He looked it over for a moment. Impressive, impressive.
You spend the next few minutes trying to make sense of what he's trying to tell you about how to ice fish.
Very talkative folks.
What about you guys inside?
I'm gonna look around the longhouse, and are there any like totems or symbols that indicate what they worship? If they
Definitely wooden carved totems.
are any of them of the bear?
You could probably recognise like eagles, bear heads, seals, and there's one that, beside them all that's been carved into the ice itself, and it's like a giant head with this big kind of jagged beard shape.
I'm gonna point towards the bear and ask if any of them need if there's anyone in the village who needs healing in exchange for supplies.
No, none of them are going to need healed. They
What if
seem confused about why you would point to the bear though, because they start shaking their heads and then they point to the giant ice head.
What if I can perform a ritual of protection for this village? Or some kind of blessing from the Great Bear?
I think it's more just kind of confusion. They don't quite understand how a bear can save them from the giant ice. Or the giant man.
Can I inquire about the giant ice head and what it means to the guy who was talking to us in the English?
Yeah, you can ask him.
I'm gonna ask him like what's the ice head? What's it represent? What is it there for?
He's pointing like to his own height and saying big man. And then he points to the head. And then he points to the sky. He's like, big man.
Giants?
Giants, yeah, okay.
He's like, big man.
I think he means his god.
What about the big man? Like, what can you tell me about him?
He like picks up one of the fish and he goes, bear. And he just like bites the fish's head off. He's like, big man, eat bear.
Big man eat bear, okay. Where are these big men?
He points to the mountains to the northwest.
Oh, the mountains we were gonna cross.
Of the same range, yeah.
Don't worry. Great Bear is bigger than Big Man. Great Bear is a mountain itself.
He like shakes his head as if you're stupid for suggesting such a thing.
I'll while he's like doing that, I'm gonna take out my smoking pipe and the wolf skull I got earlier and just start doing a ritual to make the shapes tell a story about how the Great Bear eats everything.
Oh, okay. So as you're doing that, more and more villagers come out of their homes, and they kind of like gather around you, and they're all sitting cross-legged in the snow, or in the roundhouse if you're still in the roundhouse, watching and listening to your tale. Clearly, they don't understand what you're saying for the most part, but the images and the sense of the smell captivate them.
Should I roll to see how successful it was or anything?
Do you have Lore Master?
I have a ritualist.
Oh, yeah, sure. Roll that. Yeah, they get the gist of your tale. The pictographs and the sounds tell enough of the story that they're able to grasp kind of what you're telling them. Although they might not quite understand the full philosophical influences.
Oh no, I was just trying to convert them to worship the Great Bear.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, they're more interested in the idea, but yeah, they're not wholly taken.
I'm just trying to go around and see if I can get something to drink.
Yes, they have a very sweet sort of mead. It's not honey sweet. It's got a kind of a sort of smoky kind of flavour to it. So you're not quite sure what they're making it from, but it's quite pleasant. It's mildly alcoholic. It definitely warms the back of your throat. After the smoke ritual, you are shown one of the homes, and the family that are living there kind of move into the house next door. And you're offered like beds to sleep in.
I'll try and talk to the guy who sort of speaks English, but doing some work to try and get fur coats.
Alright, do you have persuade or haggle?
Don't really have that, no.
Okay, so your attempts would be 1 dice. You can push yourself by taking a fatigue and get 2 dice.
To do that, put me to 1 health damage, but since we'll be able to rest probably.
Well, you'll be able to rest, but you won't be healing your health when you rest. Unless you stay here for a week.
That depends on how long it takes us to get enough for our cloaks.
Exactly. Alright, we'll take the rest of 3 dice then, it'll be.
Can I heal health, or can I only heal injuries?
You can heal injuries.
Alright, then while we're resting, I'm gonna use one of my supplies to heal my injury. And would I be able to heal anyone else's injury if they have one?
Yes, you would.
I do not.
Does
have
anyone
any.
else?
No
one else is injured? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm not injured.
No, I don't think anyone's got injured.
Would offering my pelt be considered helping him with his role to get us all fur cloaks?
I mean, just pitching in to haggle and make offerings and helping around the place is going to count as help.
I will do that. Because I also do not want to freeze to death.
Okay, so how many dice then? If I take 2 fatigue, then that goes up to 3 dice. And then if I get support from the others, that'd be what, about 4?
Yeah. And then you feel all of them. Oh, crit. Excellent. Yes.
I should say I've got the skill of labourer, but that would only be effective if whatever jobs they're asking us to do.
Yeah, that'd be if you were like helping them with actually building things and carrying things around and digging trenches and stuff. So the goal is to get all of you outfitted with furs, yes?
Yep.
Okay, well I think with the success they will do that. They seem impressed. You get the impression they only very occasionally get anyone else here, judging by the amount of language skills they have. And they seem to have plenty in terms of food and supplies, and furs and pelts. So yes, they'll happily share with you furs that will keep you warm.
Just have to
Dart, could you roll the healing roll for me? My healing is 2.
Anybody or? Okay.
Nothing.
Anybody?
You failed. Oh wait, sorry, you got 1 more dice because of default. You got 1, so yeah, you heal it.
Alright.
Yeah, and you won't take fatigue when you're making rolls like in the village and camp, because you're well rested and you're warm and all the rest of it. Yeah, so I mean, I imagine you stay there for, well, overnight, and you're like sitting up drinking the mead with them, doing your best to tell stories, doing little tricks with your pipe and stuff. And they're able to gift you all sets of furs before you set out. And so you don't freeze to death.
We'll be able to buy extra supplies or anything from them while we're here.
And you can trade them for pleasure.
Will they take our coin though? That's the question, or
They'll take your coin, yes. They understand what coins are. And, you know, maybe they occasionally do trade and buy things from other places.
right? Thinking things we should probably get. I've got 27 coin left. I've got tinderbox already. I'm thinking of possibly getting a torch or lantern, but I think my weight's quite high if I do that. Just checking.
You also
Yeah,
gotta think, like, if you're buying a lantern, like, where are you getting a lantern from? These people don't have lanterns.
Yeah, true. They'll have rope, won't they?
Yes, they'll have stuff like rope. Basic tools, sleds, huskies, torches. Supplies in abundance.
Well, if we're all getting fur coats, that'll go to the weights actually, so I need to keep a note of that. Right. So classify as having fur coats now, yeah?
Yeah, a set of furs, yeah.
Yeah, I marked that on my sheet already.
So the only time you're going to mark for cold when you're wearing furs is if you sleep without a heat source in an exposed camp.
You know, make sure when we set camp, we make some kind of campfire.
Yeah, I mean, if you get caught out in the open and you have to like hunker down or something, that's pretty much the only time you mark cold.
So we need to head north still, right? So we have to head.
Yeah, I mean, you're aiming for the top of the world, so as north as you can go. So the coastline keeps extending north here. If you go kind of northeast, you'll go through the forest and you'll hit the mountains.
Can we speak to him about trying to see a guide to get us the best way past where we're heading?
And do we need to spend a week so you can get your health marked off, or are you good with the 1 health?
How bad will it cause me the health decay?
Having one tick means you lose 1 dice every roll. Like all the rolls you do, you have to take 1 dice away.
That could be bad for us. Especially since we just started off.
Well, I was thinking like we're talking about, getting stuff and the coins and all that. Like if you spent the week resting so you get that mark away, the rest of us could try to like earn money here or something.
Yeah, that'd probably work. The rest of you's happy with that?
Yeah, we could use that time to gather supplies or
Make money so we can buy better supplies, kind of deal from the next village we come across or something.
Cool, we'll do that then. That's fine. Because any of you's got rope as well, because I took rope as something, because potentially climbing mountains and that, so.
Yeah, I had one vote from the beginning.
I don't know if making enough coin get some climbing gear. We can climb.
Yeah, climbing gear, snowshoes, maybe. They have dogs here. Maybe we could buy like a dog or something if we ever earned enough money.
It depends how much money we can earn in the week. That's it.
Right. It depends on skills people have. I don't really have. I have stonemason as a skill.
I have peasant and hunter and fisher.
Pissed.
You've,
Yeah.
you've got fishing though. Fishing would work for that, and I've got labourer. So
Well, I don't know if you could, if you're doing the week to rest to heal, if you can actually help out with that or not. I don't know how that works.
Well, he said we can't get fatigue while we're in the village.
Yeah, you're not going to take ticks while you're in the village, while you're staying here.
So could he still help with the work and still be resting to get his health mark away?
So, I mean, I guess this is a little different to other settlements I had in mind because they don't really use money as much here and it's not going to be like that kind of orientated. So, as long as you're like helping out, fishing, labour tasks, you know, bringing in wood and stuff like that all week, they're quite happy for you to kind of stay here. Obviously, not too long because the family whose house it is might feel put out. Or if you don't mind sharing, you know, you could like split up between different houses. But I think they'd be quite accommodating, and as long as you're helping out and pulling your weight, they're quite happy for you to stay here and not charge you cash for it. The only problem is they don't have a lot in the way of like services you can use or items you can buy. They only have like the basics.
Right, but we could barter excess work, for like more furs or something that we could then sell later on or something like that. Like we don't have to have gold. We could take items.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to go on a hunting trip and risk injury, you could go out and hunt to try and get furs for that. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I think we should try to get a sled because then I can pull it if we can't get any animals or anything.
I'm just gonna open up more of this map here.
Well, if one of us had I was debating between carpenter and stonemason. If I took carpenter, I could make a sled, but I took stonemason instead.
don't know. We could barter it with saying we'll do a hunt for a big hunting trip, then we'll come for big game.
Okay, so you just want to go on a hunting trip, try and see what you can get. Okay.
So I'll still have my health injury until after the week or something. Is this happening after the week or just before?
How about we take the week to rest?
Yeah, you'll mark off the health at the end of the week, so you'll still have it while you're hunting. Okay, so who has the hunter skill?
I do.
I have hunter 1.
Hunter 2.
You have hunter 2?
Yeah.
Okay, we can use yours then, since yours is higher.
Yes. So the hunter will, hunter will be making the roll. And you will count as prepared. So that's going to be 2 dice plus your hunter skill.
And can I help so he gets an extra dice?
You can help and give an extra dice, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 1 success.
1 success is a success.
Okay, he's out in the woods here. Yes, so you find the trail of... What kind of thing are you hunting? Like bison? Something that's got a lot of...
Yeah,
quality hide?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something with a lot of meat.
So I guess we'd be tracking a herd of bison.
Sure, or reindeer or something like that, you know. A large kind of animals that are in the woods. Just do this quick. Okay, so which one of you hunters wants to be out in front?
Eric, since he's the more experienced one.
Okay, Eric, so you're out following these tracks in the snow. You're so intently following them that you don't realise that you're walking into a previous hunter's trap. The floor, the snow beneath you suddenly gives way and you fall into a pit. mark. Well, you don't mark injury because it's still a partial success, but you find yourself falling, maybe like a bruised ankle or something, and you fall at the bottom of this pit. It's about 12 feet deep, this square hole that's been dug into the ground.
Got for a second, my man. Can you not follow this simple path?
There's like no spikes.
So the animal you're
Right.
tracking is also like a few yards along from the entrance to this pit, and it is also falling into a pit, and the rest of you can like hear its cries as it kind of falls down and breaks its leg.
Well, it's time to put
Can
it
you
out
get
of
to it?
his misery first.
Can he get to it from his pit? Do we need to pull him out of that pit so we can go to the next pit?
There are separate pits.
Alright,
I'll
well,
use my rope then to help him get out.
Well, how deep is the pit?
About 12 feet.
so while they're doing that, I'll go look at the animal that fell through the other pit.
Yeah,
Actually,
the ranger buys
does,
it. Sorry.
do you have rope or something?
Yeah, the other guy's done dropped a boat for you to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you manage to climb out, and you hear the cries of the animal in the other pit. It's lying down there, it's still alive, it's clearly broken a leg and it's in distress. The herd of the rest of the animals is further along in the forest, and you can see them getting agitated at the sound of this thing crying in pain. So what do you want to do?
Yeah. Well, he draws his bow. Should probably put it out of its misery, shouldn't we?
Sure, do you want to roll with your archer skill?
I have archery 1.
And remember to mark fatigue when you make rolls.
Yeah.
I
Not fresh. No success.
Yeah, the thing's down there, it's broken a leg, but it's still like moving around in circles and throwing its head back and forth. You try to take a shot and it just kind of like clips the head of it and sticks into the ground beside it. The herd of them beyond you all is kind of like moving as a flock, and they're circling around and waving their way through the trees towards you all. You can hear them like grunting and wheezing angrily. One of them kind of like starts like kicking at a tree with its forelegs, and you know like any moment they could break and stampede and crush you all. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to sort of hide a wee bit behind the tree, have my sort of sword sticking out, and because I'm slightly smaller, I can hold the weight, so when they try to run by, I'll basically cut between half a dozen legs and they'll trample each other or fall over each other.
So you hide behind the tree.
Hide behind the tree with my sword sort of sticking it where I can sort of judge where they're coming from, and then whack their legs as they come by.
Big guy, you want to hop down there and kill that thing?
All right, I'll slide down the side of the hole and then towards the bison in the trap.
Are you using a rope to do that, or are you just sliding down the dirt?
Oh, yeah, the rope would probably help.
One tied behind the tree, the other one hiding behind.
Yeah, time then, get down there. And as soon as you land your feet at the bottom of the pit, you realise this is probably not a good idea to be stuck in this small area with this angry, defensive, hurt animal.
No, I got him. I got him for that. When he gets down there, I'm going to use a spell to freeze the animal in place.
Okay.
So, the 1 dice, my skill is 2. I'm going to push myself for a 4. Make sure it works.
Just.
So while it's frozen for a moment, I'm gonna reach up, grab both of its horns, and just quickly twist its head. Would that be fighter?
Well, I mean, it is frozen. So you can either just do it and take a fatigue, or you can roll, which is going to take a fatigue anyway, so.
Alright, I'll just do it and take a fatigue.
Yes, it kind of slows down and freezes like just in front of you, and then you just reach out, grab its head, and with a good yank, you snap it with a bit of effort. Up above, you can all hear the thumping on the ground of the hoofs as they get closer to you. They're getting more and more agitated the closer they get, and they're spreading out now.
Can I use another spell?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's well here.
Take as many fatigues as you want, mate.
Yeah, about that. So this is a barrier spell. That's, that gives me all my fatigue is full, so now I have a mark of health too.
And is that like an ice barrier?
Yeah, it's like an ice barrier. So I want to like, and I'm going to use it to like kind of like block us, but also lead them like lead them away from us.
Yeah, completely blocking line of sight. The beasts immediately start to like calm down. There's no more sounds. Now they can't see. They don't really have great, the sense of things being there when they can't see them. Yes, and they start to spill around the edge of the barrier in different directions and spread out. The anger subsides, and they kind of after a while they start to like calm down. And they're definitely not dangerous to you.
I wanted to slice some of them.
Now that they calm down and spreading out, maybe someone else can like pick another one off or something.
Whoa, I still got it.
I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but.
I'm gonna run around and
that's,
smash and cut as many legs as possible. I'm gonna cut some smaller, and we'll still just run and cut all their legs.
Well, yeah, but we still got to get this one out of the hole first.
Yeah, we still got to drag them back to town. That's why I was like, I don't know if two of them's gonna be a good idea or not.
And we can, in theory, can we just make a sled out of like branches and stuff?
You can try and craft a sledge, yeah.
I don't know what.
It would be carpenter.
Can do it. Does anyone of us have carpenter?
I have stonemason and survivalist.
I guess while they're doing that, can I? I'm just gonna try to pick up the bison and climb out of the hole. Just use the rope.
Okay.
We had the rope. You could technically tie it around the bison. We could try and pull it all out.
So I don't know if you've ever seen a bison, and these are like the kind of prehistoric mega bisons. So you're not carrying that by yourself.
Darn.
Yes, it is a huge beast. You're a tall guy, and you come up to like the top of its shoulder. It's a massive head with these like brutal like horns on either side.
I guess we'll need the hunter to come down and take it apart first.
I was going to say, I've got my skilled labourer, I'll be able to carry it a lot better then, because of that.
Well, I think we could like tie rope to it, and then like make some kind of makeshift little sled for it, and put it on it, and then drag it up the box or out of the hole.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you've got the rope and you kind of get a lever thing going, you just got to haul it out with time and effort. And yes, then the labourer can haul it back. Or at least advise the others on how to properly haul it back.
We got a polar bear if he wants to shapeshift.
Well, I still got to get out of the hole first. I don't think polar bears are very good at climbing.
Hang on.
Are they?
No, they're not climbers. They're not from an environment where there's a lot of trees.
Okay, so what do we need to roll then to get away with it?
Well, you do the labour after, but if you're wanting to cut it up and skin it and all that kind of stuff, that'd be the hunter.
I think we should do that. We guess we could do it here, but we want to drag it to wherever we're going to set up camp at, and then do it at the camp.
Or you could set camp up here.
Because if you're gonna butcher a bison, it's probably gonna take a while.
Yeah, we can just set up camp here.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yep.
Okay, so I take it one of your survivalists are going to design the camp or decide where to actually pitch it.
Alright, it don't really matter who rolls it because I have a mark of health, so I get -1 dice. So,
I thought we already stayed in the village for a week, though.
no, doing all this at the end of the week, he said we take the health marks off.
Okay.
And this is like her last payment to the village before we have to head off for the next quest.
No, this is our profit. We're gonna keep this so we can trade it when we get to the next place.
So we can make a sled.
Yeah, you're not going to have to pay anything for staying in this village. They'll kind of just let you stay there as long as you're getting your own food and stuff. Which is reasonable because you've got a hunter and a survivalist and a fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whoever's got survival wants to roll to see if it's a sheltered camp. Or if you're quite happy being exposed, you can just take the exposed.
Up to you, blue guy. You want to roll it? You want me to roll it?
We both have -1 from health, so you should probably roll it since your survival's better than mine.
Okay, so I get 2 for survival. I don't get the free dice anymore. You're helping me, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Holy crap.
Big crits, yeah. Yes, you're able to craft an expertly made shelter for everyone. You've got like lean-to against the trees, you've got all these pine branches made as a big huge cover. You've got a fire pit dug. You've got like the spit going so you can like cook your supplies over it directly when the wind's blowing just right so it's not going to be blowing in your faces. You've got like a little lookout spot in one of the trees so you can see anything coming during the night.
I'm just gonna stand back for a moment and admire this because this will never happen again.
Take a screenshot. That way.
So you'll spend 2 supplies for the night. One's firewood, one's rations. You can
See, I
spend
took the
less than that, but
skeleton
people will take like ticks if you do that.
No, I can spend 2. I still have supplies left. So.
And you're going to get a bunch of supplies from the guys there.
Since we're in the forest, though, couldn't we gather some supplies from around us for wood?
You could roll and take fatigue and
I've got
forage
enough
if you want, yeah.
I've been taking a lot of fatigue.
I was going to say, I've got the skill cook. Would that do anything? Like, if it preparing meat to make things like less or make the supplies last longer? If I rolled for it.
You could like preserve the bison meat and like in jerky and stuff.
If you want to make a cook roll and it succeeds, I'll let you restore people's fatigue by a pleasantly cooked meal.
I'll give it a go.
For every hit you get, you can restore 1 fatigue for everyone.
I've got level 1 cook. Well, I've got a minus actually because of the health thing actually, so that won't really help much with it.
Well, you get 1 dice anyway, so that gives you 1 dice.
Yeah,
Well,
probably not sure if it's with the gamble.
Well, you'd be in the camp, so that'd be a dice, right? Because now we're in a camp.
Nice, it'll be 2 dice then. We'll go for the gamble. Let's go.
You could take a fatigue and make it 3 dice.
Yeah, you could push yourself and get an extra dice, and then if you roll good, then you get all that back. But if it's a gamble, up to you.
Gamble man here. Let's go for it.
I've been pushing myself with all my spells. That's why my fatigue
Okay,
builds
so
up
you
real
get your 1 fatigue back that you just spent on that roll. Everyone else gets 1 fatigue back from the hearty meal.
I actually appreciate that. Now I won't have to risk getting 2 health marks.
I'll have my respect. My wee Dottie apron will cooking the helping cook the bison meat.
Impossibly huge bison on a roast spit.
We got bison jerky, we got bison stew, we got bison flank steak. All of it's gonna go bad if you don't go to the village and trade it in. Or give it
I
to them.
mean, can't we just put it in the ice? Like, let it freeze?
Yeah, we could freeze it. I could actually probably do something like that with my magic, but
Well, yeah, I mean, just leaving the snow and ice is going to freeze, yeah.
Yeah. Also, if the like sea is a salt water lake, we can just salt it. For the record, I don't know how food preservation works.
No, you got it just there, right, man. Salt will used to be more valuable than gold because
Yeah,
of that very
salt.
reason.
that very reason, yeah.
So we'll just bury the meat in the snow until the morning.
Yeah, it's not going to go off.
But I guess we need to butcher it, so that would be the hunters.
Yes, if the hunter wants to make a roll to butcher it, and I'll give you 3 supplies for every hit. So you get dice. You get an extra dice for the camp, and then you've got your your hunter skill.
So that'd be Eric, because he's got a higher hunter skill than I do.
And trait if it's applicable.
Trade skill?
What is your trait?
Oh, peasant. Which is at 1, so it's probably better to hunt again.
I'm trying to think. I think
Outpost living.
Yeah, I mean, I think peasant probably would come into it because it's a basic survival thing for a peasant, and you're like trying to get every last scrap out of it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3 dice plus your skill.
Okay. So.
And if I help,
You could help to give an extra dice as well, yeah.
Okay, so +1. 3 sucks.
So 9 supplies you get off of that bison.
you guys want to split that up, or you just want me to keep track of it since I've just been using my supplies anyways?
Slowly carry your weight.
Yeah, we should probably split it up for now.
I mean, I'm carrying like 5 raid on equipment without supplies.
So I got 4 weight on me right now, so I can hold 4 supplies.
You'll notice there's a decay clock, so that counts towards all the rations that person is carrying. So mechanically, it makes sense for one of you just to carry all the rations because they're all affected by the same decay clock. So if it does go full, you only lose 1 ration out of all of them. However, if the one person carrying all your rations has an accident of some sort, they're more at risk because all your eggs are in one basket. So it's up to you as if how you want to split supplies that way.
Well, I can only carry 1 more supplies until I'm capped out, unless being tall helps my load cap.
Because you'll all mark 1 decay tick for making camp tonight.
Okay. I can hold 4 before I'm at my load cap.
Just check my load cap.
So you have 4 and I have 1.
So we still have 4 more that need to be held by somebody.
I can hold 2 more.
Too much meat, man.
Being over the load cap doesn't matter much. I mean, like, will we mark extra fatigue or something?
Yes.
Is that every time we roll, or is it just like per day?
It's like when you make a journey.
Then I will hold it extra if you guys want. I don't mind taking the extra fatigue.
You can split it off anyway as we use them. So you just use your supply part of that first and work away that way.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be sharing supplies. It don't really matter if you guys want to, like, use supplies in medicine or something. You can just, like, hey, I need supplies. So I'll just take 1 off my mark here.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Alright, well, all good then.
Okay, so that's the thing carved up and distributed. Who's going to take watch? And are you going to take watch the whole night, or are you going to split it with someone else? So if you take watch the whole night, you don't rest, so you don't get your fatigue back. And in fact, you'll lose fatigue because you have to make the roll. But if you split it, you'll both get a short rest, which will negate the fatigue from the roll.
I've not really got any fatigue just now from that last combat thing or anything, so I'll take the watch then.
The whole watch?
I can take the whole watch because I've not had any fatigue at all, so 1 TD lock's not going to be any difference to me.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but then you'd also get a stress, wouldn't you?
Stress only if
For
all
taking watch, he's not going to take a stress.
Oh, okay.
I'd only be if I got like a hot meal or anything as well as the rest and stuff.
And before you settle down for the night, someone can also tell a tale if they want, so you can possibly gain a trait.
I can tell you about the Great Bear God.
Okay, which question is this answering?
Oh, what do you worship?
Oh, excellent, yeah.
So my village worship is far to the south of here, like almost on the other side of the world where it starts becoming cold again. We've got the Great Bear God who watches over our tribe and protects all the people like cubs. Is that what the bears?
Yeah, I call
Cubs, yeah.
Yeah, like every person in the tribe is their cub, and I was chosen to be the next shaman of the village. But I decided to leave on this journey to see to try to find the Great Bear in the far north. Have I been playing too much Warhammer?
I don't
I
remember
never played
bears
so
in
much.
Warhammer.
Now in Total War, the story of the main campaign is all about finding a giant bear.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of a giant bear in Warhammer.
Kislev, the ice people.
Oh, okay, well that'd be why, because they're not actually a faction in tabletop.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like in an army release book or something in like first edition.
Yeah, I think they're one of the ones that they just never really transitioned to the newer editions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never had a proper faction with army books and stuff.
But hey, now GW is releasing another fucking old world thing, so
I'll just play Kings of War like I have been doing for the last 10 years.
why not War Machine? It's very good, I heard. Irony.
So
Okay, yeah, so what trait do you want to pick that suits that?
I guess touched by the gods.
Makes sense.
And then the answer for that question would be the I guess would it be the gods or the old ways?
I think the gods, because old ways is more like old traditions.
Okay, yeah.
Right, what skill do you want to use for taking watch?
Not sure. I'm not sure it'd be like traps and stuff like that. So it'd probably fighter would be the best one.
I think that makes sense, yeah. Right, okay, so you'll get your dice, and you'll get extra dice because it's a sheltered camp. You'll take... You're not overweight, are you?
No, that'd be me.
Okay, yeah. So you just take 1 fatigue for this roll. And
Okay.
there's a campfire, so everyone's warm, so they're not going to take cold.
So it'd normally be 4 dice because my fighter's level 3, 1 extra one because of the camp, but I've got -1 for the health still. haven't I, for that.
Okay,
so
well that
that's-
just removes the default dice, so you'll have 4 dice.
So 4 dice then.
Yeah. Oh, very critical. Okay, so not only is it a peaceful night that everyone gets to rest, but extra. I'm trying to think, because you've got the critical camp as well. Okay, so everyone's going to heal 2 cold if they had it. Everyone's going to heal 2 fatigue if they had it. And I guess with the I guess with the crit you could probably heal an extra fatigue as well.
Maybe find something interesting in the night.
I mean, if you could think of something interesting you came across in the forest where you're keeping watch, I'm all yours.
Well, we're at a place where hunters sort of like set up stuff, so it could be like I found a tool or something, or a weapon of a hunter, sort of, because it's glistened in the moonlight. You wouldn't have seen it because of the snow and everything, but because obviously at night time in the nighttime in the moonlight, it sort of catches it more.
Yeah, because there's not as much glistening in the nighttime, because during the day there'd be lots of it. Well, not so much when you're in this kind of heavy woods area.
Just like a wee tool, like a wee hand axe
Oh,
or something.
okay, so you're in like the watch post in the tree, so you're up high off the ground. And you can see from this vantage point that someone else has had a previous watch post, and there's something like glinting on the platform across the way in another tree. And you can see that that platform and that tree seems to have like stairs that wind around the tree going even higher up to the top.
So while we go and explore, obviously in the morning, once everyone's awake, make sure everyone's safe first.
Yes, no, nothing bad happens during the night, so you're fine.
It's sort of a high up watchful post, I assume would be something like a wee bow or something, maybe.
I'll say as well, everyone who has supplies marks decay. If you hadn't done already.
I think that's what we did before, right?
Yeah, if you did it before, then that's fine.
Just done it there.
So since I'm already overweight, does it matter how much I'm overweight by, or like take amount more?
Yes, every
Sure.
1 weight you're overweight by, you take an extra fatigue when you take fatigue.
Oof.
Okay.
So we can literally eat ourselves to death. Very nice.
Well, you die, you collapse with exhaustion, but yeah. Yes, so you've got this glinting thing up on a platform high up in one of these trees, and whoever's up there has got a ladder, steps up there that seem to go all the way up to the top of the tree, which will give you an unparalleled view from down here in the valley.
Guys, there seems to be another outpost there, up that wee bit there, someone set up. Might give a good vantage point to tell us where we can get to next. I'm not fully capable of climbing all that at that height for particular reasons.
Because you're short.
I am not short. I am
Very short.
inadequately.
Can I just pick him up and set him on top of the platform up there?
You're not that tall.
Darn.
Yes, but someone will need to climb the tree if you wish to go up there. So many volunteers.
Well, I'm wondering if I'm too big to climb up the stairs. They look like they can hold my weight.
I guess you'll find out when you're up there. You could also change shape.
Oh, you're right. I'm gonna shapeshift into a bird. I want to see what's up there.
Roll,
What?
fatigue, all good. That's a success, yes.
Alright, so what kind of birds live in cold places?
Owls, hawks, robins.
I'll just turn into an owl and see what's up there.
Yep, you easily fly up. You can see the thing that was glinting was some sort of metal hook tool. Plus like a fine silver scythe. Not scythe, what are they called? Sickles. The platform does go all the way up to the top, and there's like a viewing platform at the top of the tree. It takes you above the canopy, but you can fly up there anyway. And you can see the entirety of the forest that sits in this sort of, kind of like a valley coming down from the mountains towards the shore. I'll extend this map to show you.
So we get a bit of advantage to see what's ahead of us. Oh, Dark. So would being tall increase my load capacity?
No.
Darn. Is the hook tool small? Is the sickle small enough for me to carry it in this form?
Oh, an owl? Yeah, you could definitely grab that.
Alright, so after getting the view and seeing what's around, I'll fly back to the lower platform and pick up the sickle before dropping it onto the ground with where the rest of them are.
Yep. You guys, when the sickle drops down, you can see it's iced over, but when you give it a clean, it's like a perfectly smooth, very finely made silver scythe. The sickle.
Well, I have no skill with using that unless this comes to hunting.
I guess we
What's
should give
that?
it to the peasant.
Yeah, I really can't carry anymore either, to be honest with you.
Should I just get the fucking peasant cap now?
Yes, max out peasant. Become the ultimate farmer.
Peasant level 100.
You not use it for whatchamacallit, cutting the meat and stuff like that better.
You wouldn't use a sickle for cutting meat, you use a sickle for like gathering herbs and stuff like that. And the fact that it's silver obviously means it's fairly valuable as well. Well, probably quite valuable because silver would be valued more than gold.
Head to town, sell the shops. Let's go.
Yeah, we gotta pack all this, all these furs onto makeshift sled and drag it to town.
So I believe the labourer who's itching to use his labourer skill could make a roll. And it's for like how good a time you make dragging this thing through the woods back to camp or back to the village.
So it'll be 3 skill plus 1. Would that be yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's hard going. You'll take fatigue for your roll, obviously. Everyone else is going to take wind fatigue because it is hard going. You're pulling this, although it's been cut up and carved. You know, it's a lot of weight. You're all loaded with meat. And the weather's not particularly good now. The wind's picking up. Visibility's down a bit. The smell of all the cooked carcass and such is attracting animals that kind of like are nipping at your heels. As you come out of the woods and crest the snowbank, you see smoke, black, lots of it, coming from where the village is. And as you're able to gain sight of the village itself, you can see several of the buildings are on fire.
The village! Come on, man! Let's go!
I'll drop my bag on the ground and by the sled and take out my axe and start running towards the village.
So you'd rather just run towards the village to see what the trouble is instead of waiting and seeing what it is.
Sure, probably better wait and see what it is. Although unfortunately my guy's trait is bold, he's a bit reckless and daring, so
So you're just going for it.
I would end up going for it.
Yeah, I'd probably run into.
You just run the distance across the snow. I say run, you kind of like do that awkward kind of gait where you're leaping from one foot to the other through like knee-deep snow. As you approach the buildings, you can hear crying. Some of the women are sitting there and they've got their children. You don't see any sign of the men until you see a body sprawled out with a large like gash wound in its chest. There's a woman on her knees beside it crying.
What attacked? Where is it?
You don't know what the word is that she's saying, but you know, she's like pointing northwards along the shore and like yelling, "Uvaja, Uvaja."
Let's go! Ah!
And
Are there-
in the distance on the horizon to the north, you just see like a black kind of speck crowd of figures moving away at pace.
Are any of the sleds or the sled dogs intact?
The dogs are all gone or slaughtered.
Are any of the sleds left?
Let
Or
me roll 1d6 and we'll see if there's any sleds left. Yes, there is a sled left.
I'll go to the sled and then tell Draken, what's your guy's name? You're the one who came to the village with me, right?
Yeah, Logan.
I'll tell Logan to hook me into the sled and then try to transform into like a wolf or something that would fit into the harnesses.
So there are dire wolves if you want to turn into a giant wolf.
Yeah, it's got to be giant since my guy's tall, right?
I'm small enough I could ride on top of you.
Well, there you go. He rides on top of you. I'll hook you up to the sled. We transfer all the supplies over. Can we put our own supplies on the sled? Or will that be too much weight?
With one guy drawing it?
One giant dire wolf drawing it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whoever's drawing it is going to be taking the fatigue. All the fatigue.
Okay, so keep on our own supplies for now. We just get all the furs over there.
Because I mean, the sled will take 8 load of its own without affecting anyone else. But yes, anything over that, the person dragging it's going to be taking fatigue. Normally the dogs would take the fatigue.
So you could probably put the extra 4 you have on there. As long as everyone, I guess everyone else just has to run alongside the sled.
Yeah.
Well, one person can be standing on the sled getting pulled. That's fine. That's not going to affect it, definitely. I didn't expect the player to be pulling the sled.
That was my
Yes,
first
I
thought
mean-
as soon as I saw shapeshift.
Are we just going to leave the village to burn down, I take it then?
We've got to go find the perpetrators, right?
And maybe there's still people fighting, so we gotta help them.
Just seeing the perpetrators are in the distance. They're riding off just now, whatever they've done. Too late. Unless we chase after them.
So should we stay and try to heal the villagers?
That's the options we've got. Either chase after them in the sled and hunt them down as many as we can if we hurry quick enough, or we help spot the fires and do what we can for the village.
We can always track them afterwards, so we should help the village and then see if we can track them afterwards.
Yeah, I guess I am a healer. I should probably try to help the village.
We'll get this sled moved somewhere safe-ish, and then we'll help the village.
If you want your health tick healed for the week, you probably need to stay in the village as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the. Well, someone will have to hold my character back because he's bold. He'll just try and keep running after him.
Sure. So, I mean, there's various
We need to help.
women and children that have been left behind, the older women. And yeah, they've been like punched and pushed around, so they are injured. There's probably a couple of gashes from blades as well.
I'll see what supplies I can find around the village to heal them with.
So, you know, the place has been raided and the rest of it's been burnt. So there's nothing of value really left behind.
Well, I have extra supplies I can use. Plus, no, we just got a bunch from the bison, so.
Alright, so we can use one of our supplies to heal them.
If you want to heal everyone, it would be 6 supplies.
We have that much extra, don't we? So
Yeah, we just got 9 extra, so we still will get 3 extra. I'll use 4 of the 6, so that takes me down to 8 load. Then we still gotta use 2 more from somebody.
I'll use it to mine. I still leaves me 4 left afterwards.
Alright, we're good then. That'll be 6.
Alright.
Okay,
Then I'll
so
just-
yeah, just make one roll for the healing.
Do I get the one for being in the village, or is it not there since it's burned down?
I guess it will still count, because you're still technically on.
Okay, so that'd be a 4. No, that'd be a 3 since I'm still injured.
Yes, so you spend the supplies, you heal or treat the people, but you know that these wounds are, or some of these wounds are deep, and they're already infected. These bastards have wetted their blades with like human excrement to make sure that it causes infection. And without proper medicine and a proper settlement, these people are not going to survive long.
Could I try to do some kind of ritual to heal them or something? Or would that only work if I had the healing spell?
I think you need a healing spell for that. I don't know, I mean, you tell me, do you have some sort of fancy ritual that like aid it?
Or I could try to summon the Great Bear and then just it will just do whatever it wants to do if it wants to do anything.
I'm okay with you doing that, yeah.
Alright, I'll try to summon the Great Bear.
I mean,
So we're just gonna summon a great big bear, and it's just gonna do whatever it wants.
Yeah, it'll either eat them or it'll save them.
I'm gonna go hide behind a tree.
yeah, so you gather them all in a circle and yield in the snow, holding hands, they're shivering and shaking.
And then I start chanting while holding the bison skull over my head, offering it to the great bear.
The great bear appears in the smoke of the fire, this huge smoky form of this massive black bear, lording over all of you, looking at you all hungrily, its fangs dripping and drooling. And then it beats its chest a couple of times and stands up on its hind legs and roars through the sky. And everyone kind of like falls backwards with shock. But their wounds are like aided and the infection is removed and healed. But you'll take like an extra fatigue from that.
Alright.
Or if you want to take injury instead, you could take injury.
Yeah, I'll take the shock of the great bear's power flowing through me. It's hurt me or something.
So the people won't die of their wounds. Yay.
Going to see what I can salvage the buildings, see if we can get anything, make at least a reasonable shelter out of even like the main end one or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to make a shelter out of the remains once the fires are put out. And the villagers know how to, you know, make lean-tos and stuff like that for themselves.
Alright, we need to decide what we're going to do. The spell just has no really any warriors left, does it? After that massacre there.
Do his injuries, since he would someone have to heal him, or can he heal himself for his injuries?
Oh, I mean, he's going to be taking the fatigue and stuff, so I think he can heal himself as well.
Okay.
Alright, so what do we do now?
I guess we help the villagers for the week and get all rested up, and then we try to figure out what happened, or we can just ignore it and continue on our journey.
Yeah, I mean, you can ignore it, you could stay here overnight, get more rest for your fatigue and stuff like that, and finish healing your injury. Or you could set off tonight in the cold and the dark.
No.
Right, we'll heal up so we get that health thing back up so we don't lose our dice anymore.
Yes, the last night of the week passes, you'll heal your health tick.
Do we need to mark decay, or do we not mark decay since we're in a village? How does that work? Is every night a decay?
I'm going to say no, because you didn't make camp. You're staying in a settlement still.
So only if you make camp. Okay.
Yeah. And that was another long rest, so you'll also restore 2 fatigue.
Do we know where the next nearest sort of village towards our goal is from here?
No
There
one.
was one.
No one really asked any questions about that.
They will probably tell you overnight that the men that raided them come from a village far to the north along the shore.
So we just gotta keep following the sword, and we'll come across this village too.
If that's where you want to go. You could also go across the forest and into the mountains.
The mountains leads to where we want to go, but it's more treacherous, or we can go towards and battle through the village. So that's probably our next choice of where we want to go. But they say you party, which way do we go? Battle full of villainous victims and destroy them all in vigilous furthest ways?
Well, we need to find a place to trade at too, but that's going to be hard to do if this village keeps going around and destroying all the other nearby villages.
They
And
also
if we-
they also tell you that the village that the men come from is not a village of their people. It is a village of your type of people.
Maybe we can just talk to them, see what's up.
So if there'd be a bunch of bandits that come from it, maybe something as simple as that.
I say we head to the other village and see what's up.
Maybe we can raid them in return.
You also have two
It's not
options.
Maybe it's not a raiding party. Maybe they're just attacking this village because they attacked them first.
So I was going to say, you also have two options. If you're following the shore north, you can go on the shoreline, or you can cut across the ice, the frozen ocean.
My feet stay on solid ground as much as possible.
Well, our goal is towards the north anyway, so the question is obviously, then do you want to go through the safety towards through the villages, or are we going to try and go through the mountains or across the river? The river would probably mean us avoiding the village maybe more.
Going along,
it-
going along the shore rather than ice is an extra day travel.
I'm okay with that.
So what do we all agree to do then? I vote shore. Look along the shore. I think
Yeah.
go through the ice.
That way, and then that way.
So, across the ice to the village will be 3 days. If you're going towards the mountains, that will take you 3 days to get to the mountains. If you go along the shore, it's 4 days.
We'll take along the shore for 4 days.
You'll need 9 supplies to be prepared for that trip.
I have 4 right now.
I've got a 4 as well. I mean, we'll be losing it maybe.
I have 2.
We got 10 supplies.
Yeah, so you can spend 9, you be prepared, which gives an extra dice for the journey.
And then, whatever we get back by foraging and whatnot, fishing.
Yes, true.
So we'll take up the 4-day journey then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone wants to forage, they can roll survivalist for foraging. Or the fisherman can roll fishing if he wants.
2 dice.
That's my survivalist roll.
Yeah, and I can help you with the survivalist roll.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I added that to it already.
1 supplies for every hit.
So 3 supplies.
It cost you 9 for the journey. Who wants to roll for the journey? So this is going into enemy territory, so the scout could also roll. The pathfinder would be rolling because you don't really know the route. So either of those skills would apply.
I do not have scout.
I take it he's not fresh anymore. Does anyone have a tick on any of the clocks?
Just decay, and then I went ahead and marked fatigued for rolling for the survival, unless I don't need to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
that wouldn't really count, that one.
Oh, then I'm clean, besides the decay.
I have fatigue from fishing.
Okay, that one won't count because that kind of happens during the journey. Is everyone else empty of ticks?
Yeah. We're basically
Yeah, after resting in the village, I am.
Okay,
Because I had time to heal, right?
Yeah, so whoever is rolling for the journey, you'll get 1 dice by default, 1 dice because everyone is fresh, 1 dice because you're prepared. You could push, but then everyone will take fatigue. Then your skill.
So who's got the skill for
Hang on.
Pathfinder?
And it's more than a day, so that's going to be -1 dice as well.
I think my Discord is going to crash soon.
So 2 dice plus Pathfinder skill if you want to roll for that Tarlock. Or not. I like how he knew who was going to DC him.
And it crashed, I predicted.
At least you saw it coming.
You old. You got 3 successes.
Oh, did you roll? Sorry, I didn't see.
Yeah, I rolled as I crashed.
Okay, so crit. So you make the trip in excellent time. So if you want to roll a 1d4, and you'll get those supplies back.
3.
So it'll only cost you 6 supplies for the trip. And
Sorry, what was the question?
it only costs 6 supplies for the trip instead of 9 because of that. Because you made excellent time.
Okay.
So if I'll take 1 supply each.
No, I think me and the dwarf. I don't know your name. I keep forgetting. Should take the 3 off,
Everyone happy with that idea?
and then
Yeah,
when we
because
get
I'll keep this my supplies so I can heal people if we need to.
right. So then when we get done with the journey, we get the foraging and fishing supplies back, which is another 3.
And then whoever's got the excess takes 1 extra one. Oh yeah, so we got those supplies from the journey, which was about, was it 4 you said, yeah?
Yeah, we get 4. We get 3 from the journey, and then we spent 6 making the journey. So technically, we only lost 3 supplies total.
Alright, so if I've got enough excess, we can take them off the excess then. Or if anyone wants to take one off, I'll take one of them off if you want, so it doesn't take too much of the excess. If someone
Yeah. If anybody's, go ahead. Right. So is anybody overweight or anything? Or are we all good on loads?
I'm good on loads.
We still have a sled, remember?
Yeah, but that you gotta pull that, so we gotta make sure that's not over either.
Well, the first 8 loads on the sled is basically free.
Well, it's gonna be all the bison fur. I don't know how much that's gonna weigh. Or the pelts, I should say.
Pelts
Are we
are just...
taking them on a journey to an enemy village?
Yes, I'm taking them with. I'm trying to trade these things. Maybe we can talk to these people. Maybe they're not enemies. We don't know yet.
So we've got that and a safe.
a bale of furs weighs 6.
Okay, so it's 6, and there's 2 spots left on the sled. Okay.
And then I'd say if the wolf is dragging the sled, you'll take an extra fatigue for the journey.
Alright, so I'll be at 2 fatigue.
Okay. 4 days along the frozen shoreline, you find various bodies of members of the village that you stayed in as you make your travel, dumped unceremoniously in the snow as they've either, been too exhausted to continue, or they've died of their wounds that have been inflicted during battle. You find signs of camp being made at various points just ahead of you. You can tell that there's, a dozen or more of this raiding party, judging by the camps that have been made. When you approach the village, it looks very like the village Pero that you originally came from. You can see rowboats and fishing boats kind of like frozen in the water of the coastline. There's like a dozen or more buildings. There's a church, there's a large town hall. They just look very old, dilapidated. But they're certainly functioning. There's smoke coming out of the chimneys. You might even see people coming and going with like carts and stuff. If this town had been, or this village had been situated further south, it would have been a normal operating village. It's extremely overcast here. The winds are high. The temperature is even colder than before. And you can probably see off to the mountains to your west.
Scaffolding. Time sort of watch it first, or think we should just go in.
Off to the mountains to the west, you can see a trail leading towards what presumably mines in the mountains. I'm just going to light this area up. So you have the view to the village at this point, but I think we'll stop there for tonight.
It feels like rations are a bit too easy to get.
The what, sorry?
It feels like rations are a bit too easy to get.
Well, I mean,
perhaps, but you also, that was going to be like 9 that you harvested that you would have spent just on that trip.
True.
You rolled really good too. Like if you hadn't got 3 successes, and if you had rolled bad, you know,
Yeah.
it could have took more vaccines or
And
something.
at the start, when you're not damaged and you're all fresh, you're going to have a lot of dice, but that's not going to be the case as you get further on.
It's because we're just been hitting village after village.
Yeah, there'll be
going
less villages and settlement, you'll be making camp more, it'll be harder to heal things.
And I'm guessing it'll get colder and colder.
It'll get colder, yeah.
I need to jump off, right? I'll catch you all next week, right?
It's fine.
Yeah, see ya. Also gonna hop off. I have prep to do. See ya.
Sure, man. Ciao.
Yeah, we'll start getting stressed soon too, and we won't have hot meals.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting injured and stuff, you're going to take stress. It's going to pile up. It's going to be the opposite of a usual campaign where you get more and more powerful. You'll get less and less powerful.
Yeah, it'd be the opposite.
No, they just gotta figure out how to shapeshift, and we can all just turn into animals that can survive in the cold.
Well, I mean, that's great, but what if when you get to the point where there aren't any animals? Because there's nothing surviving out there.
Oh, because it gets too cold?
Too cold, too barren. You know, it's just talking about like miles and miles of like open tundra and shit like that.
Then I'll turn into a penguin.
Penguins can survive anywhere.
Nature's troubadour. Do you have any other thoughts about how it worked?
I think it went pretty well because you're right. We were gonna use everything we got just to go on one trip.
And we took a lot of fatigue just to get those supplies. So what if we couldn't have like rested at a village before we left? Which, as we go more and more on, we won't be able to. I think it's good. It's not starting off hard. It's building up to being harder. I think that's a good trend.
Yeah, because then even if we do get like animals to pull the sled, it'll take more supplies for them, won't it?
Yeah, you only feed them and stuff. And then you'll probably be at one point you run out of supplies and you're like, it's time to eat the dogs.
Yeah, it's time to eat the dogs. Like,
And then the other thing to consider is once you get all the way there and you get your treasure, you have to carry it all back.
alright, time to eat the dwarf. My
Gold-
emergency food supply.
bag of gold, eat the dwarf.
I like it so far. The cold was a little brutal at first, but there's a simple fix. You just got to make sure you have a way to stay warm.
Yeah, furs or a torch or something like that. It's just because
Wait,
nobody was thinking at first. Oh,
Yeah, we
need
won't
to
think
heat
about
source.
that. Yeah.
Until they're, it gets to the point where the wind is strong enough where the torch just blows out.
Yeah, I mean, a bad roll could mean that the camp's exposed, and then that can happen, yeah. And then nobody heats up overnight, and you get cold. And then it can be more trouble.
Yeah, imagine trying to keep a fire going when all you have is empty land and a lot of wind.
Yeah.
No trees or nothing.
It's
We just gotta find a dragon.
It's got
Then I
to
can
strip
transform
down. You just got to strip down and cuddle.
I'm just gonna capture a bison and make it follow us. And when we get to the point where it's like that cold, I'm just gonna split his belly open and get in there.
It's
Luke
also a technique.
Skywalker.
Yeah, also a method, yeah. Yeah, because obviously, I mean, I'm just guessing how many things you should start with and what price things should be. You know what I mean? I'm just pulling that out of my ass and try to guess how much it kind of seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think there should be like a few more like traits, but they should be just traits you can start off with. Because how can you tell a story and get taller?
Well, that's why it has to be relevant. Like, so tall wouldn't be relevant to any of those. So you'd have to start off with tall.
Well, I mean, you could tell the story about how you're taller than everybody in your village or something like that, and then at that point you gain the trait. So you've always been tall, but only now, it's going to become useful for you.
Is that Grunts? He's taller than all of the short people.
The giant amongst midgets, man. But yeah, I mean, I just ripped the traits and the skills mostly from Torchbearer, so they could definitely get tweaked.
I'm just waiting to the point where Charlock can't roll for the Pathfinder anymore.
Yeah.
So I get to do it, and I got lost. Like, I'm gonna love that. I'm gonna love failing that roll and be like, all right. Well, I also have lost, which means I don't know my directions at all. So what does that leave us?
We're halfway there, and we end up back in the starting village.
It's like roll a d8 for direction, man. Just send you that way.
Like, all you had to do was follow the path. Like, the path has disappeared. Like, no, you stepped off of it. That's how you lost the path. I don't know what he's talking about. It just disappeared on me. Alright, so I just kept walking.
What's the worst result for a journey? You're only a day into the journey when disaster strikes. So you have to deal with something a day in, make camp, do a new journey, and everybody takes cold, fatigue, and stress. So that's like the worst result you could get.
And then, do we get experience at the end of the game?
You get experience every time you fail a roll.
And then you get an extra if it has to do with your trait?
Yes.
Yes, I got no experience this whole game.
What if you get one experience for each every time, like... So we get one experience for everyone if the journey fails?
Yes, I think that makes sense.
Did any of the journeys fail this time?
No.
No, you made them all.
Okay.
It'll happen more often as you're like injured, because obviously you've got less dice.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it should kind of balance and work out, because you'll get more XP, you'll get more dice from leveling at a slightly slower rate, but you'll be losing dice from health going down. And then when you finally get somewhere that you get to rest and heal, it'll be like the best feeling ever. Because you'll have all your dice back.
And you'll be good for like another day. Like a day I travel to, then you'll be right back where you were.
And it's like, oh, Yeti, fuck.
I think it's good. So far, I haven't seen any problems with it.
So what if for leveling up, what if you could get just 2 skill points instead of 1, but you can only level up each thing only once, or...
I mean, I don't think it needs to be harder to level up. Really? Because, I mean, you're not getting that many XP for things.
No.
Yeah, but
I
I mean,
think-
just making leveling up itself a little bit more
Rewarding. I think
beneficial.
yeah.
Instead of just getting 1 point, you get 2 points.
Oh, you mean you get 2 points? So you're going from a
Like-
level 1 to level 3?
No, but like so every level you get 2 skill points is what he's saying. Instead of every level you get 1 skill point.
But you can't just make one, like, you can only level up, like, say if your fighter is 3, you can only make it 4. You can't just go straight to 5.
Right, so restrict how much they can level.
Right.
Well, I mean, you're restricted anyway because you'll get 10 XP, you'll spend it, and you'll go up a level. You're not going to save more XP than that, are you?
No.
Because there'd be no point. And you're not going to suddenly get 10 XP all in one go.
Right.
I don't see you gaining many skills though in this journey until the very end. Like you won't gain any skills at the beginning. It'll be at the end you start getting a lot of XP. But then you're also dying probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're like making camp and you're telling stories, you'll get your trait, which is more chance to get XP as well, because you don't have to fail the
XP.
roll if it's your trait. So it's an incentive to play into your trait. Because you'll get XP from that.
So then what roles would Touched by the Gods be help with? Just like rituals and stuff?
Yeah, rituals. For your guy, yeah. Calling on the Great Bear, speaking to the Great Bear, spreading the word.
Trying to
Yeah.
convert the heathenish masses?
I was about to say like when you try to tell that story and you was trying to convert them, that would have applied.
Yeah, other than that, I think it worked pretty well.
Well, we still got a few more
Yeah.
games to go. We'll see how everything works.
Four more sessions we'll do this one.
Yeah.
And then once it's kind of refined and, tested, I'd like to come back and try it again.
I think money is a little bit hard to come by. Like all the items, like
Yeah. I
a
mean,
little
that's
expensive.
kind of intentional because you're going to be foraging stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, prices can definitely get tweaked as it goes along. It just kind of makes sense.
But the high prices also help if you're a crafter character. If you're a crafter skills and you build the thing and sell it.
Yeah, and also you got to remember if you get like a precious gem, that's 250 coin. So if you get a handful of gems, you're fucking rich.
Right, but the more north we go, the less places we'll have to trade, kind of thing.
Yes, I mean it's all about getting it and then making it out alive.
Yeah.
Well, as long as nothing bad happens to the sled, we should be fine for a little while, right?
Yeah, but I saw a couple of things on that map I want to go explore. Look like there's a mine shaft. Look like there's a cave system.
Yeah, so there's definitely, and even just from this one, if these guys become friendly, you can just go out from there into the mine, maybe get some loot, come back, sell it, go out to the caves, come back, sell it, load up on extra stuff for a longer journey. You
Yep.
can come back to places. You don't have to just like go past them or never visit it again. Or at least
Yeah,
that's the
that's-
idea.
That was my idea. They're like, you still bought the furs? Like, yeah, I don't want to fight these people. I want to like trade with these people so we can keep going north.
Dude, they killed the whole village. Let's not fight them.
No, I don't care about them people. They didn't even speak my language.
That's probably what these people were thinking.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like honor or blah. I'm like, no, I don't care about that.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll take up next week.
Oh, yeah.
Later.
Later.